Hello, my friends. So today is Monday, May 12th, and I decided that I wasn't going to do a monthly energy update. I wasn't going to post it for May. I mean, I did record it. It's about an hour long, and I don't remember what I said, but I remember as I was editing it, I was like, yeah, this is a no for me, dog. I don't think I'm going to post this. This doesn't feel like me. It feels very like structured, right? And when you're someone who channels or you're tapped in, it's really hard to do a monthly or a weekly thing because time is not real. I mean, it's real in our 3D world, but it's not real in the sense of like someone can't like accurately say, oh, within the next week or within the next month or whatever. So I figured that I am just going to say whatever the fuck's on my mind, open it up and allow whatever comes through to come through. And then I will speak from that place. And one of the first things that I am hearing or seeing or feeling or just knowing, however it comes, I really don't know how it comes through for me, guys. Sometimes I'll see pictures, sometimes I'll hear things, sometimes like whatever. Does it even matter? Like, I think people get so hung up on like, yeah, I'm so clairvoyant. Like, I see images. Like, good for you. Like, cool story, bro. But for me, I think it comes through in every single way possible. Sometimes when I'm reading, I will just immediately start crying because I like feel the love from maybe their loved one who is, there with us in the session or from spirit or from whomever. But one thing I will say is when you feel that like deep fluttering feeling of love, this is just my experience. And what I'm hearing is that's when you know you're connected. Um, I want to talk about angels. Angels have been coming up a lot lately for me. And I actually, I hate, I absolutely hate titles. I fucking hate titles. I hate like even calling myself a psychic or a medium or a channel. I'm like, what's the difference? Like, I don't get what the difference is. I mean, I know the difference, and silly me, I even talked about it and I posted about like, here are the differences between a psychic, a medium, and a channel, and you could be all three, and blah blah blah. And I'm like, it feels so limiting. It feels so fucking limiting. But the awareness of angels keep coming through because in a lot of my readings, I have come to realize that a lot of angels come to me to get readings. And I'm like, you're an angel, you're an angel, you're an angel. And it started to get to the point where I was like, is this real? Like, are angels real? And so I sat in meditation and I communicated with my guides, and um, I lied. Yes, I was in meditation. Yes, I was communicating with guides, but actually I was doing a psilocybin journey with my husband on Saturday. Every Mother's Day, that is what we do. That's just our like tradition. So we sit with the medicine and we just like go through things. And for me, before I talk about angels, every time I do psilocybin, I fear doing it. Like I get really scared beforehand because I know that it's going to unearth a deep part of my subconscious that I fear speaking about. So, for example, almost every single psilocybin journey I do, I always cry because I'm like, I'm not a good enough mother. I'm failing my children. I am fucking them up terribly. They're going to go to therapy later in life because of me. I could be spending more time with them. I could probably be cooking more home cooked meals and blah, 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 blah. Like all of the guilt just comes up. But this last journey, there was absolutely no guilt. And it was all so beautiful. I had so much fun. And I have never been able to say that before in a journey. But I sat there. My intention was to ask, who am I channeling? Like, I really wanted to know. I was like, am I channeling angels? Am I channeling like the galactic realm? Like, blah, 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 blah. And then, so I asked, I was like, am I channeling angels? And I got, yes. And then I asked, okay, are angels galactic? And I got, yes. And I asked, do I channel Jesus? And I got, yes. And I was like, okay, is Jesus galactic? And I got, yes. And I'm like, do I just channel everything? And I got, yes. And so that in my like conscious mind right now really confused me, right? But then when I asked later on, like later in the night, how does that work for some people? And they showed me this image of like the ocean, right? Like it was like scaled out as if I was looking at a map or something. And they're like, here's the ocean. And the ocean would represent like source. And then there's all these like rivers and tributaries that lead into the ocean. And those are like people who channel certain things, right? Like we have galactic channels, and then we have people like people who channel the Pleiades and all that stuff. And then we have people who do channel Jesus and Mary Magdalene and the frequency of them, all of its frequency, by the way. And then we have like the angel channels, and then we have like all of these other channels. So you are more than likely, if you channel, are drawn to one of those things, but the information and the genesis of where it comes from is always from like the same place, from source. And that's just what I got. And I was like, oh, that's really interesting. But I know people like, I've been asked like, who are you like channeling? Who do you communicate with? And I'm always like, I don't fucking know. But like, listen, I really did want to know. But I have made peace with the fact that it can be all of it, and it doesn't have to be one certain thing. But do I feel more called to the angelic channeling? Absolutely. So I said all of that to give you a little bit of backstory as to why angels have been coming up. And I see angels everywhere. And angels are people who walk this earth who usually, more than likely, have had a really incredibly tough life. And they are here to experience the full array of human emotions for many reasons. One of them is because when they go back to being guardian angels, I hear there's like different levels of angels. I'm not there yet though, but when they go back to being like a guardian angel, um, they because they have lived a life on Earth, they know exactly kind of what you're going through, right? They've felt the human emotion before, because when we are back on the other side, when we're just spirit, we don't really feel those emotions. We can kind of like the only emotion that we feel really is pure joy and bliss. And they're letting me know that it is akin to the height of an orgasm. That is what they feel all the time. Just pure fucking bliss. So if you want to know what it feels like to be on the other side, just remember that the next time. But angels walk among us, and they don't know that they're angels. But I can tell, a lot of people can tell. And there's also the feeling of like heaviness in the shoulders and the tension in the neck. So Also like back issues. Um, I'm getting that some angels, when they come down on earth and they incarnate as a human, they want to, again, they don't remember that they're angels or what their mission is. They forget, just like the rest of us, they just become human. And one of the craziest things that I'm like seeing right now or hearing or whatever is coming through is that some of them don't complete their mission. And there are actually a lot of angels who get addicted. They form addictions to substances, um, to mostly substances because it's so, their heart is so big. They've come into this earth with this capacity to feel everything. And that's like kind of what they came in with initially. And then with that capacity to feel compassion and love and empathy, when it gets too hard and they start feeling other people's shit, it's like, oh my God, I don't know what to do. So they numb out with substances or alcohol. But like, and I'm just hearing like almost every single person knows someone like this. There are millions of angels on this earth right now, which is why the earth is so populated. And the population is actually going to be reduced. It's not going to be like a whole wipeout, like mass, like everyone's going to die at one time sort of situation. It's going to be more like like natural causes, right? But then um, that's because like we are being populated right now with a lot of light workers and angels and galactic beings because the Earth's vibration is changing. She's also going through an ascension period, and the assistance is needed through the angelic realm. They're sending a lot of angels. I had to say that a million times, by the way, so that more light can be spread because it's going slower than they thought it would. And they're like, no, more babies need to be born. More people need to like come. And then a lot of people are going to wake up to the fact that they're angels. And it's usually going to be, um, they're usually going to find out through another angel who has remembered that they were one as well. And I'm also hearing that I am one. And if you have felt drawn to listen to this message, then you are more than likely one too. And I'm hearing that I attract angels and I can channel through the angelic realm to help these angels with releasing density that is trapped in their subconscious mind and in their DNA and in their body. And angels are interesting because we have the capacity to actually activate our DNA faster than the rest of the humans who are going through an awakening process. But with that being said, it is not a painless process. It does require you to venture down into the depths of your soul and bring to the surface that which is buried. For a lot of us, this is the love that we did not receive when we were children, feeling invisible, being told we were too much. Take a breath. What are the signs that someone is an angel? As we've already mentioned, childhood trauma, abandonment, maybe being given up for adoption. Also, deep, profound loss, the loss of a parent, the loss of a child. And loss is it's they're showing me, and they're very careful to, they want me to be very careful in the way that I relay this message. When someone loses someone they love, it causes your heart to break. And when it breaks, it has the capacity to expand. Now, the breaking is the defining moment. The loss is the defining moment because we are giving you this opportunity to take that loss that you feel that you've experienced and not allow it to break you. And in those moments is where a lot of angels do decide that they are going to turn to substances to try to numb that feeling, because we have been born with a lot of feeling receptors. They're showing me the heart space right now, where the heart is our heart field. Is that what they want to call it? Is that a heart field? So we have our heart, and they're showing me the heart. And if you want to imagine this with me, you could. And our heart generates this electromagnetic field. So those who are born angels naturally have this enormous electromagnetic field around their heart that extends outside of their body. And we have the ability to control how far it goes out. And sometimes, if we take the time and we are cognizant and aware, and we have come to a place of stillness and rooted ourselves into the earth, we can actually blanket the whole earth with our heart field. And if we come together and do this and gather together and do this, the world will feel it. A shift will happen. They want me to do it right now. They said, "You're doing it right now." It takes all but 2 minutes. So practice doing this morning, noon, and night, whenever you get the chance. Close your eyes, take a deep breath, and start to picture your heart space. And breathe into your heart. And then you're on the inhale, you're going to watch your heart expand. And on the exhale, it expands even more. It's like blowing a balloon. You take a break, and on the exhale, it expands. And then you gather more energy on your inhale. And then on your exhale, it expands until you fill up your room, your home, your city, your state, your country, over the oceans, and you're covering the globe. And if you so choose, you may allow yourself to linger there and just fill it more and more and flood it more with the coherence of your heart field. And when you're ready, allow yourself to slowly let the air out of that balloon until you create just a smaller field of energy around you, around 6 feet outside of you, like an egg shape, spherical egg shape, however you want to see it, it encases you completely. Now I'm hearing if you hold it there for too long, you might grow very tired. It does use some of your own energy. So take it slow, but you can even direct this at a particular person or a body part of someone who, might be going through something. For example, cancer or chemotherapy or even autoimmune issues, or if your child has a toothache, you can do this with your child. Your intention and your open heart. They're saying your intention and your open heart is actually what is called a miracle. That's how miracles are produced. Another sign of an angel is more than likely they lack compassion for themselves, but can easily extend it out to others. And I just asked, are we all angels? Has everyone always been an angel? And I just got to know with no explanation. We all have different purposes on this earth. And what are angels confused with? They're telling me angels get confused with something else sometimes. Angels can also be called light workers. Interesting. Angels are light workers. We call it different things, but it's basically the same thing. The verbiage does not matter, they said. It is the frequency and the resonance behind it. Angels tend to have bodily issues, so unexplained pain somewhere in the body that is probably chronic. Um, it doesn't have to be a joint or a muscle. It could be like your liver, or it could be a part of your brain. It's usually just one thing, which leads to an even bigger thing. But that one thing that they are saying, usually, if a diagnosis occurs, it's to get you to pay attention to your health more and your body, and to take care of your vessels so that you can carry out your mission. Sometimes angels wake up tired, more tired than normal. They have slower mornings, or it's hard for them to get out of bed in the mornings, and that's because when you are sleeping, you are also working. And it is imperative that you get enough rest so that you can do your duty. They are showing me something really interesting. And this usually happens to me in a lot of my readings where they will say, "We are going to send you a sign within the next 24 hours." So within 24 hours of you watching this, it's not 24 hours from the date. If you see a white dove, we are speaking to you. And they want to conclude it here. Sometimes when I channel, I get really like when it ends, I get really like, not, no, it's not dizzy. It's like I feel super ungrounded and I have to remind myself that I am back here. So I was cognizant and aware the whole time, and I'm still trying to process what's being said. And the feeling that I felt in my body when I was blanketing my energy throughout the entire earth was so weird. Like my hands were like this. I don't know if you guys can see it because my eyes were closed, but my hands were like this. Okay, yeah, I think you guys can see it. Um, and then I felt like I was holding the earth in my hands. And I was like looking down and I was like, oh, there's my family. Oh, there's my friends. Like, and I was like, just setting energy. So that's something you can do and experiment with. Apparently, that was fucking crazy, if I'm being honest. Like, all of this is crazy to me. It's still so crazy to me. Like, it took me so long to get on board with the fact that this was even a possibility for me. And now that I think about it, all the signs are like pointing to it. And I'm just remembering this one thing. So there was a metaphysical fair that happened here. Maybe I think I went like last year, February. It happens twice a year. Um, and I remember thinking like, I have to go, I have to go, I have to go. So I went up to, they had like readers there and like crystals are being sold and all of these things, right? So I went up to this one booth because um I don't remember, but she was an angel channel. And I was waiting for a reading from her. And I remember thinking like, what's a fucking angel channel? Like, okay, that's dumb. But I still want a reading. Like I'm curious, right? And as she was reading me, and this was before I even like came out that before I owned my intuition, I should just start saying that. And I looked at her and I was like, in the middle of her talking, I was like, has anyone told you had like 100 eyes? And she like looked at me and she was like, and she starts crying. And she was like, that is so crazy because I have been trying to connect to a particular angel, seraphim or something like that. And this angel has like eyes, like 100 eyes, maybe. I don't know how many eyes, but there's just like eyes. And I was like, and then in that moment, she's like, you are really good. Do you want to travel the US with me and like go on tour and go to different metaphysical fairs and like read people? And I was like, I don't do that for a living. I don't know how to read people. And no. No, thank you. And I just like after that channeling I just did, I was brought back to that because holy shit, the signs were there. Am I an angel channel? Like, what is happening here? Okay, here's another thing. Before I did my journey, I was actually talking to my friend and I was like, Heather, I think I channel angels. And I was like, what do you think? And she was like, yeah, absolutely. And I told her, I was like, okay, if I see 111 in the next, I gave myself 2 hours. I was like, if I see 111 anywhere, then I channel angels, right? And she, as I was like looking up the directions for our Airbnb, in the instructions, it said like blah, blah, blah. And then it said 111 acres or something like that. And I was like, and I screenshot it and I sent it to her. And I was like, okay, there's my 111. I always ask for signs like that. Like they just told you if you feel like you might be an angel and you're unsure or you don't believe me, they said everyone watching this is probably an angel. But if you don't believe me, ask for a dove. You have to ask to see the dove in the next 24 hours. A white dove, more specifically. I asked, is there a particular color? And they said white. So there you have it. Maybe I channel angels. We'll see what happens when this unfolds. Because remember when I said I absolutely do not like labels and titles? Because I don't. To me, it comes off as pretentious. And, like when some people are like, I think at one point I called myself an oracle because so many readers were like, you're an oracle, you're an oracle, you're an oracle. And I was like, okay, I guess I'm an oracle. And then I like changed my Instagram name to that. And I was like, this doesn't feel right. And I remember getting a message. Someone was like, what is an oracle? And I was like, I don't fucking know. And so I changed it right after that. Because like I don't fucking know what an oracle is, but I don't know how long this is. But thank you for tuning in. And I hope you got something out of it. And I will see you next time.